This is a News 4 Storm Tracker Tracking Adalia update, sponsored by 5 Stars Roofing.
Good evening. We are interrupting your regularly scheduled programming as we continue to track Idalia for you tonight. A high tide is inundating the low country coastline. News 4's certified team of most accurate meteorologists is keeping a close eye on the radar. We're joined now by Chief Meteorologist Dave Williams with the latest. Dave, bring everybody up to speed.
And Katie, always with this storm, my biggest concern was the amount of water that would come with it, and that's what we're seeing realized right now. We don't have a hurricane anymore as of 8 p.m. The winds on Adalia are back to 65 miles an hour. We're still seeing some tropical storm force wind gusts. That storm is now in the low country, and it's going to continue to move off to the northeast. I like the fact that it's moving at 21 miles an hour. It's going to be in and out of here very quickly, but over the next several hours, expect tropical storm force wind gusts all through the low country. Total of 3 to 7 inches, maybe a little bit more in some spots. That coastal flooding, it was forecast to be 8.7 feet. Well, guess what? It's up over 9 feet now, and we're looking at gusty winds 30 to 50 miles an hour. Could see some higher wind gusts. That is the latest tide that we're seeing right now, 9.23 feet. So that's where we are. We still have high tide coming. It just came at 8:24. So we're looking at that 9.23 mark. It may start to drop just a little, but I would imagine it's going to rise a little bit more. Major flooding here starts at 8 feet. Where does that put us? That puts us up here, right near Hurricane Matthew. So it looks like very close to Matthew. These are the historic crests in the Charleston harbor. We're going to bump these down a little bit here, and we're going to fall into the number 5 spot on the all-time list of tides in the low country for Charleston. So I don't think we'll overtake Matthew, but very close to the high tide that we saw with Matthew. 41 mile an hour wind gust right now in Charleston, 38 mile an hour wind gust in Orangeburg, 25 Myrtle Beach, 20 in Beaufort. As the center of this storm continues to move through the low country, expect tropical storm force wind gusts. Some good news here. We don't have a tornado watch anymore, except Williamsburg and Georgetown counties. Everybody else, the tornado watch has been dropped. We're still under a tropical storm warning because we could get those tropical storm force wind gusts, but the tornado threat shifting farther off to the north, and the heavy rain shifting off to the north as well. Right up I-95, we're slowly starting to dry things out here. A couple more feeder bands, especially up into Georgetown County, and we're seeing some of that rain still coming in off the Atlantic Ocean, but otherwise slowly starting to dry things out. Some heavy rain, western Dorchester County there, right near the intersection of I-95 and I-26. And here is our storm right there, making its way through the low country in Beaufort County right now. And this is going to push through over the next couple of hours. Conditions will improve very quickly overnight tonight. It's still going to be breezy. We could still see those tropical storm force wind gusts, but as far as the heavy rain, that's starting to shut off. Here we are at 10 p.m. and the center of our storm pretty much right over downtown Charleston. That continues to move off to the north and east 1 o'clock in the morning. The best thing about this, even though there could be a few leftover showers, the winds blowing offshore. That'll help to push some of the water out of the Charleston harbor, out of our creeks, out of our streams, and back into the Atlantic Ocean. We're looking at a few of those showers around 3 o'clock in the morning. Then we start to clear 7 o'clock in the morning, sunshine, and we should have a good deal of sunshine through our Thursday afternoon, and we should keep a good deal of sunshine into our Friday as well. Only a few high, thin, fair weather clouds. As far as your forecast overnight tonight, we've got the wind, we've got the rain, but fortunately the rain is letting up a little bit, 72 degrees. As we go into the day tomorrow, we're going to be looking at those highs up around 84, shower early, breezy, and clearing later in the day. Next 3 days look like this: 84 tomorrow, your rain before sunrise, then lots of sun. Sunny on Friday, 85, and then mostly sunny skies Saturday, 87 degrees. So we just need to make it through a few more hours, and then we're headed toward a beautiful holiday weekend, which we'll talk about later on this evening.
All right, thank you, Dave. Here is a live shot from the Battery. Now it's dark. There's no debating that, but you can see lit up in the streetlights just how high some of those waves are crashing. We've had crews all over the low country today tracking the conditions from Adalia. Let's bring in our Scott Eisberg now, who's live downtown. Scott, I just saw some video that you posted on Twitter not too long ago. it looked like the water was rising. What's it like down there right now?
Yeah, it's pretty nasty right now as a bunch of kids are running behind me. They're having a good time. But if you look at the street and where they're running in, they're only up to their ankles right here. But you go about, I don't know, 20 yards down to like 10 King Street. South Battery would be the next cross street down there. You would in knee-high water, like literally up to your knees. It is not easily passable on foot. Forget about trying to do it on car. There were actually 2 kids who wanted to drive a moped on here for a vlog and try to get, internet hits, and even they were smart enough to say, yeah, dude, this is not a good idea. Let's turn around, not drown. So, yeah, this is King Street, it typically floods here, but it is certainly higher than normal. It's kind of that gross, nasty water down there. You certainly don't want to be here if you don't have to. There's been a lot of onlookers, a couple of people who have come out to walk their dogs, but beyond that, everyone has stayed in right now. I would say we're a quarter mile from where the water hits the wall at the Battery, and it just gets progressively deeper as you go down the street. Up here, we're just kind of staying on dry ground as much as we possibly can, but this water is coming further and further up. As for the conditions downtown, that's not too bad at all. I mean, it's a kind of a light drizzle. You can tell earlier tonight my hat was blowing off my head. It's not doing that or anything like that downtown right now, but this water is making these streets completely impassable. No reason to be out here in a car at all. Don't do that. Don't even go anywhere near south of Broad almost. It's kind of like anything down here, not a great idea to be. And there's so many one-way streets, you kind of just get yourself tangled up in there with nowhere to go. So aside from the kids that are trying to ride bikes down there, that's not going to end well. I can promise you that bike ride will not end well. He's trying to pick up some speed. Let's not give him the attention that he wants on TV as he crashes in the water. So for right now, we'll send it back to you guys from down on King Street, right near South Battery. It is certainly high water up to your knees, but the good news is you don't have to be out in it down here. There's nowhere to go. There's no restaurants or anything like that down over here. Katie, I'll send it back to you.
Thanks, Scott. Good advice there. Stay inside, folks. Listen to Dave, listen to Sonia, listen to Scotty. Stay indoors. And then take a look at this video. Portions of the Battery, of course, blocked off. They were blocked off as early as 6 or 6:30 today by police. Our trooper Bob posted this to his Twitter within the last hour. You can see just how high floodwaters were back then. And of course, the waves at that point crashing high over the Battery wall. Conditions certainly appear to have worsened based on what we just saw from Scotty in downtown. Now, here's a few logistical reminders for you this evening. Let's take a look at the Low Country school schedules for the rest of the week. Most school districts are taking e-learning days tomorrow. Williamsburg County is planning to have an inclement weather day tomorrow and a 2-hour delay on Friday. Switching gears now, Charleston International Airport Control Tower closed until 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. A lot of people getting those flights canceled today because of the weather. Be sure to check with your specific airlines for adjusted flight schedules. And as conditions pick up, your power may go out. Here's a look at some of the areas already seeing outages. The counties shown in yellow have between 100 and 499 reported outages. Those in green have between 1 and 99. I was on Twitter. Mount Pleasant Mayor Will Haney tweeted out that the town has already seen about 4,500 outages already. That's again throughout the whole Mount Pleasant area. If you see a county on the map in orange or red, it has over 500 reported outages. Stay with us. We will be back at the top of the 9 o'clock hour with another update on Adalia.
This is a News 4 Storm Tracker Tracking Adalia update, sponsored by 5 Stars Roofing.